Peter Moore's last game in charge of Lancashire ended in a draw as bad light ruined a thrilling finish to the LV County Championship game with Warwickshire at the Emirates Old Trafford. A draw looked the most likely outcome at the start of the final day after Paul Horton and Lewis Rees had done so brilliantly to survive 22 overs on the previous evening, but Rees was caught in the slips to the 14th ball of the morning. It was just the start Warwickshire wanted. Lancashire was still 28 runs behind and they knew that they would have a job on their hands against a fired-up visiting attack. They were sensing blood, even more so when Andrea Agathangalou chipped Chris Wright to mid-on off the leading edge. Lancashire still trailed by 1 when they lost their third wicket, Ashwell Prince being stumped off a perfect bit of off-spin bowling from Jitan Patel. A bit of extra bounce from Oliver Hannon-Dolby then removed Luke Proctor to effectively leave Lancashire on 8 for 4. It had very much been Warwickshire's morning thus far, but for the second time in the match, Paul Horton was proving to be a tough nut to crack. His second 50 of this contest arrived off his 135th delivery. With a damp outfield on the previous evening, he'd secured only 3 boundaries in what was becoming the crucial innings for his side in their battle for survival. What was making life especially difficult for the batsman was that Patel was getting plenty of turn, so much in fact that Tim Ambrose missed the chance to claim a 5th wicket before lunch. Josh Buttler was the lucky man. With plenty of rough patches to aim for, surviving against Patel was not going to be at all easy, as this ball proved. To his credit, Buttler tried to keep the scoreboard ticking over, knowing that runs scored would also use up time in a chase later on for Warwickshire. Butler enjoyed himself more against the pacemen, especially when they drifted onto his pads. A crucial partnership began to develop in the afternoon. Horton was again superb. An old-fashioned opener, if you like. He defended manfully using all of his experience and he picked off his runs without taking any risks. As the afternoon wore on, it looked as if Lancashire might just be doing enough to earn the draw after all. But just past the halfway point of the day, Horton, who'd moved on to 84, 1 more than he managed in the first innings, came down the wicket to Patel to be bowled through the gate. It was the big moment of the day and it ended the partnership on 72 made in 29 overs. Then a bonus. Atiq Javid was given 1 over and it produced a wicket of Buttler, who edged a straight ball to Varun Chopra to go for 42 at 169 for 6. It was only the 3rd wicket of Javid's career. Lancashire were 98 runs to the good when they lost 2 more wickets. Wayne White nicked off to Hannon-Dolby, and Tom Smith offered Ian Bell an easy catch off Patel. 4 wickets had fallen for 18 runs in 9 overs just before the second new ball was due. Bell didn't take that immediately, preferring to keep the excellent Patel going, and he was so close to grabbing the wicket of Glenn Chappell. A leading edge off Barker then did for Simon Carrigan, the second man to fall in this manner during the day. So it was left to the last pair of Chappell and James Anderson to try to keep Warwickshire in the field. They took the total to 196. But Patel then grabbed his 4th wicket, although Chappell may consider himself unlucky after seemingly getting himself outside the line of off stump. Patel had taken 4 for 44 as Warwickshire were left with a target of 120 to win. They initially had 33 overs to knock those off, but having got to 15 without loss off 3, they were left with 105 off 26 overs after the players went off for bad light. Stunning catches can turn matches, of course, and Anderson then took a brilliant running one to remove Will Porterfield with 90 now needed. Anderson has not had his best ever match with the ball, but he was now running in with real intent and causing Laurie Evans all sorts of problems. Lancashire were not going to go down without a fight and perhaps had not given up hope of even winning this match from here. Those hopes were increased when Evans went after Kerrigan but flat batted the ball into the hands of Prince. 83 were now required off 19 overs. But Warwickshire had the informed Bell in their ranks and he started to calm any nerves in the visiting dressing room with a couple of well-placed cut shots which reduced the target to just 59 off the final 16 overs. It looked a foregone conclusion now. However, Bell then went after Kerrigan but found Anderson on the long off boundary to leave with his side on 61 for 3. A fine one-handed catch at slip by Horton removed Ambrose in Kerrigan's next over. And when Chris Wokes drove the spinner to a diving Prince in the covers, Warwickshire had slipped to 70 for 5 with 10 overs minus a couple of balls to go. So now it was anyone's game. Warwickshire needed just 50 more, but that was not going to be easy on this surface, one which was still helping both the seamers and the spinners alike, as Javid discovered. Warwickshire, though, still had Chopra at the crease, and he made it to the 50 mark for the second time in the match, and now held the key to the result of this game. If he was there at the end, then his side were likely winners. You will see from our camera that the floodlights were now taking effect, and the shadows of the players were visible, and so, shortly after this pulled four from Javid, the umpires had no option but to take the players off for a final time. It was a hugely disappointing end to a great day of cricket. There were 27 balls left for Lancashire to take 5 wickets or for Warwickshire to score 25 more runs. In the end, after all that, the game was drawn. Warwickshire claimed 11 points to Lancashire's 9. Both are away in the next round of matches starting on Sunday. Lancashire head to Northampton, while Warwickshire go to Nottingham.